Hello, beautiful souls, amazing healers, highly sensitive people, and all of those that are interested in brain health. So today's topic is all about the number one fear people have as they age and what you can do about it to improve your odds of this not happening to you. So stay tuned to hear more. This is Anastasia. I used to be a physics professor specializing in vibrational and quantum physics. After recovering from a serious illness using energy healing on myself, the calling to heal became so strong that I had to quit my 40-year research career. I replaced my six-figure professor's salary within 5 months using a simple but not easy 3-step system that I worked out to grow my healing practice. Now I help other healers grow their practices, whether they're just starting or already have a practice, with this same 3-step system. I'm all about helping you too. Listen in to learn more. Thank you so much for coming back. And as I mentioned, today's topic is all about brain health. So the number one fear, and I've heard this from a number of people, the number one fear that people have as they age is that they will lose their memories and their identity. And those are very closely intertwined. It's not about getting up and then not remembering why you got up from your chair, but actually losing who you are. Your personality changes, because your personality, a lot of it is developed from the memories that you had. So this is Alzheimer's or dementia. And once your brain is deep into dementia, it's very hard to bring it back, and it's actually terminal. And the reason why it's terminal is that your brain health is directly associated with your body health. Your brain rules everything, right? And there are 5 parts of the brain that we look at as energy healers to determine what your brain health is. For example, there's the limbic brain. The limbic is the lizard brain or the crocodile brain or whatever. It's the primitive brain that all creatures on Earth have. And this limbic system is a system of many tiny organs like the pineal gland and the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus and the thalamus, the medulla oblongata and the cerebellum, right? So all of these parts operate to keep your involuntary functions functional. Your breathing, your heart rate, the detoxing, all of those functions that you don't have to think about that are happening, right? Your circulatory system, your lymph system, your ability to digest food, all of that is operated from the limbic system. So imagine as your brain function declines, your body will stop working. And then, of course, there's the emotional brain. This is the corpus callosum that surrounds the limbic system. It's actually technically part of it, but it is where you process emotions, and it is directly connected to the larger part of your brain, the neocortex, the large part that humans have. We have a very large neocortex compared to other creatures. So this emotional part also helps you function. It keeps your body out of stress. It helps your adrenal glands not fire, because when they fire, your body is in tear down mode, whereas when you are calm and you're content, your body is then relaxed. The adrenals calm down and your body can heal. So you understand clearly that your brain function, including your memory, your brain function is super important to keep going. And things like PTSD and trauma and all of those things that sit in your body, when your brain heals, your ability to heal through those also improves. So, brain declining with age has a lot to do with the environment that you put it in. So if you are in a lot of toxic environment, your brain is marinating in these toxins, and that includes drinking alcohol. Alcohol and even sugar will cause problems in your brain. If you read some of the books by Dr. Daniel Amen, who has done thousands of brain scans that show the activity in the brain, and he's shown that people that are in their 70s and 80s and even 90s can have fully functioning brains if they take care of them really well. And of course, you can read his books, and a lot of his books talk about drinking water, nutrition, avoiding toxic chemicals, toxic medicines, and so on to help keep your brain functioning. And that includes one very specific, because your brain is mostly cholesterol, is to make sure that you don't take cholesterol lowering drugs because it can affect your brain function. And so there's all of that: good nutrition, rest, and exercise. And I'm going to emphasize exercise because your muscle mass and your brain function are intimately related. And if you can always start, because exercise includes walking, right? And of course, people are recommended your 10,000 steps a day and so on. And that helps your blood circulate. It helps then detox the body because your lymph system does not work unless the muscles are moving, right? Because your lymph system, which carries toxins away from your bloodstream, your lymph system only works, has no pump of its own. Unlike your circulatory system, where there are muscles in each of the blood vessels that help contract and send blood through them, the lymph system only operates when you move. So there's an added benefit of exercise, and that's helping your body detox, which protects your brain. So the thing is that even if you notice that you have some brain decline, you can recover from it by following some of these recommendations, and also from energy healing. One of the things that I've done with some of my clients, I had one person that had a traumatic brain injury. That was one of my very first healing attempts at something super serious. Person was in a coma. He was on a bicycle, and a truck T-boned his bicycle. He landed in the hospital. He had a broken arm and leg, and he was not expected to survive because his brain function was very low. And the advantage to energy healing is that you can help rebuild the energy fields around the damaged energy fields around the brain and help promote their function. And while I was working on him, I was in the hospital room. His intracranial pressure, which is a very important number for helping your brain function. If it goes up too high, the brain stops functioning. And that's why when there's certain concussions and the pressure builds up in there, they'll even drill a hole to help relieve the pressure up there to help keep your brain functioning. So energy healing allows me to do that without that kind of intervention. And this person not only didn't die, he recovered, and his memories were intact, and he actually changed for the better, right? So there are lots of ways to do that. I worked with another woman who had both dementia and cancer, and during my work with her, her cancer shrunk and the dementia got better, where she was able to function She was only slightly older than I am now, but she was able to function again and able to remember what she did the hour before, which wasn't happening. I mean, talk about living in the moment. And her husband didn't want her to go because he was much younger and they had a good life together. And he really, appreciated that he had another couple of years with her by the work that I did to help her recover enough where they could travel and go to ball games and go out to dinner and things like that, which is something she was unable to do before. So there are the practical sides, right? The exercise, super important, right? Building your muscle mass and your brain function is intimately related. There's making sure you get proper nutrition, drink water, avoid toxins, and get enough sleep. Those are the practical sides of it. And then there's the energy side of it, which you can do with meditation. Meditation is also very healing because it helps bring you into the parasympathetic state very quickly, and that helps the healing process, and it helps heal the energy field around you, which is super important, right? If you've ever seen pictures of Kirlian photography where somebody puts their hand on a plate and there is an old injury somewhere, the energy field is open, and that can be repaired by energy healing, just so you know. So in conclusion, as you age, you can still remain fully cognizant and intact. And just so you know, my dad lived until 90, and he followed good nutrition principles, even though he loved his chocolate, right? But he followed good nutrition principles all his life. He got a lot of exercise until he had a stroke at the age of 82. He still continued to try it, to work on it. And his memory was fully intact until the last 6 months of his life. And he passed away at the age of 90 and a half. So he made it to 90 with, he could still tell his stories, and he still knew who he was and who we were all. My mom, on the other hand, in the last 6 months of her life, was confused whenever somebody walked in the room. She didn't know who we were. And her number one fear was also losing her memory. Just as a last point, her number one fear was losing her memory, and she would always tell me, if that happens, I just want to die, right? And that's really sad. But I still miss her every day, even though her last 6 months were very, very rough. And I want you to be able to have, if you have children or family, I want you and your family to be able to have great memories and great times in your life without losing a loved one to dementia or Alzheimer's disease. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for taking valuable time out of your day to listen in. If you found this message helpful, please help spread the word by giving the broadcast a thumbs up or a 5-star rating. Share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on. For further training on healing and growing your healing business using my 3-step system, go to www.highpaidhealers.com. And I'll see you in the next video.